The mayor of Normal has been accepted on the board of directors for the National Railroad Passenger Corporation. Mayor Chris Coos replaces Mayor Tom Carper's seat following his confirmation in the U.S. Senate in January. Bloomington Normal's train station is the second most popular in the state, and Coos said he has many goals, including rebuilding bridge and tunnel infrastructure and expanding railways to Peoria and smaller communities across the state. The House recently passed what could possibly be the biggest social media ban in history. We have TV 10's Kirsten Duffy here in the studio with the story. We are going to move over to the city of Bloomington, where a prominent downtown building is facing condemnation. Now, what is condemnation? It's a process where local authorities close or seize properties deemed unsafe or are just not up to city ordinances. The front and center building has not been meeting city safety standards for years. And on Monday, yesterday, City Manager Tim Gleason issued the condemnation notice. The owner of the front and center building has until March 19th to respond before the building falls into the city's hands. And a man was found dead by the railroad tracks near O'Neill Park on Saturday morning. McLean County Coroner Kathy Yoder has identified the man as 34-year-old Bradley Powell, who likely died from multiple blunt injuries from being struck by a moving train. Looking back on campus, one Illinois State junior is making a difference in the Bloomington Normal community through the lens of a camera. TV 10's Kirsten Duffy stopped at her new photography studio where she's changing the lives of children with critical illnesses. And speaking of arrests, the police force in LaSalle County was in for a surprise over the weekend as an Ohio man was found with 100 pounds of cannabis. James Redmond was traveling eastbound on I-80 early Sunday morning when he was pulled over for a traffic violation. Police deputies found more than 5,000 grams of weed in his vehicle. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready. We've got the whole box.
I think we should review. What flavors do you guys have?
Strawberry.
Chocolate, strawberry. What do you got, Cam?
They're kind of like Lucky Charms, magically delicious.
And so, Kirsten, where can we get these today? Can you remind us?
Denny's, Donuts, and Bakery.
That's right, very exciting. Illinois State swimming and diving team has a new head coach. Riley Hillbrandt joins ISU from East Carolina University, where she was the assistant swim coach there and spent the last 3 years. Hillbrandt was a Division I swimmer herself and previously also coached at Claremont University at the College of Worcester. That is Illinois weather for you. You get 60 degrees and sunny one day, 2 days later, a snowstorm.
I just want some sun.
All right,
just no more clouds.
Cameron, it's been told that you've never had a Shamrock Shake before.
I have not. This is my first time trying it.
Yeah, so to celebrate the great comeback of 2024, the Shamrock Shake, go ahead and give that a sip. Earth Day is coming Monday, and Bloomington Normal's local bus service knows just how to celebrate. Connect Transit will be offering free bus rides all day on April 22nd in honor of the Green Holiday. It's an annual tradition for Connect Transit to cut down on individual vehicles' carbon emissions. Taking public transportation is one way to reduce carbon in the air. Remember to reduce, reuse, and recycle for Earth Day. The City of Bloomington has announced a new city manager. After unanimous vote by the City Council, Jeff Juergens has been announced as the city manager. Of the $1.2 trillion budget passed by Congress, $2.4 million is coming to Normal. Congressman Eric Sorensen took credit for securing the funding, which will be used for 2 projects. $850,000 will go towards improving Vernon Avenue, which drivers will know is littered with potholes and cracks in various locations. A large container vessel called the Dolly smashed into a pillar of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore around 1:30 a.m. That's the video you're seeing right now. Almost immediately after being struck, the bridge collapsed. At least 2 people have been rescued, one in, quote, serious condition. And 6 construction workers who are working on potholes on the bridge are still missing. Early Saturday morning, Iran and associated satellites attacked Israel with 120 ballistic missiles, 170 drones, and more than 30 cruise missiles. Of the 300 missiles, barely more than 12 made it to their target. Donald Trump has been unable to pay his nearly $500 million bond after being found liable for fraud and conspiracy in New York last month. Trump's attorneys have said they've approached 30 insurance companies to help pay the bond, but all have refused. Without an insurance company, Trump will need to put up his real estate properties, which he is hesitant to do. He has until the end of the month to secure the bond, or the New York Attorney General could seize Trump's properties or freeze his bank accounts.
And I'm also the McLean County Coordinator for Bobby Kennedy in Illinois.
And that's exactly what we're talking about today. And you're also a member of ISU Republicans.
Yes.
My first question to ask you both is your opinions on how RFK Jr.'s campaign will affect the other two campaigns. You've heard of them. Are they excited to vote for Trump? It's going to be your first presidential election. Are you excited to pull the lever for him? You're both very politically literate people, but people that you communicate with, your friends, your family, are they talking about RFK Jr.? Does he seem like he's gaining force in those less political centric conversations? Democrats and liberals, they believe this is a good faith separate cases, that Trump is truly potentially a felon. And there's also those who support him on the right, Republicans who believe that it is an effort to get him off the ballot. Do you think, or do you see in ISU Republicans and younger conservatives, is there an in-between? Is there a less extreme opinion out there? I think will turn off a majority of Americans. It might be his biggest obstacle in gaining popularity. What is your response to that?
Yeah, people calling him anti-vaxxing, like they're usually people trying to scaremonger.
He's not a very good Christian at all. So.
Oh yeah, so you're here saying that you see that, and yet it seems so many Christians are in support of him. Why do you think that is? And taking a look back in Peoria, there's some good business news as Caterpillar reports 2023 was its most profitable year ever. According to the report, profits for Caterpillar in 2023 were $67 billion, up $7 billion from the year before. Their stock prices also saw an increase up to $12 per share. Now they are $20 per share. It is the best year in the company's 98-year history, which started in East Peoria in 1926. In the States, the House of Representatives are once again attempting to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. After a failed vote last week, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, right there on the screen, said he would bring the vote back to the floor if and when they could get the votes needed to pass. This vote will test Johnson's ability to count votes and his power as Speaker. Now, jumping from one presidential candidate to another, former President Donald Trump made history this week as the first president to have a criminal trial. Trump is accused of illegally falsifying business records to hide payments made to a porn star during the 2016 presidential election. After 3 days of negotiating in court, 12 jurors were seated on Thursday, and 6 more are planned to be chosen on Friday as alternates. This trial is different from previous Trump trials because he's required to be in court every day. We are going to have to wrap up there. I want to thank you both for coming on, sharing your opinions. That's what this show is all about, being informed and talking about issues across the spectrum. Thank you both for sharing your voice today, and thank you for watching.